Welcome to It's All About You, a program that keeps you connected to all of the exciting events, services, and businesses the city of Urbana has to offer.
We're your hosts, Sterling Bowman and Natalie Marquez.
Later in the show, we'll welcome the city's recycling coordinator, Courtney Kwong, back to the program.
We're also going to visit the City of Urbana's campus fire station and speak with Jeremy Leevey.
It's always great to see a new face on It's All About You. Today we'll introduce you to the new Public Arts Coordinator, Rachel Storm. But first, we're joined by Seth Fein. Seth, you were on the program probably 3 years ago, talking about the same topic, Pygmalion, which is coming up for its 13th year here in Champaign-Urbana. Tell us what we can expect for year 13.
Well, I feel like this is the culmination of a lot of planning over the course of 5 or 6 years. We've been adding components to what was once just a music festival. We added a literature component and a makers component in 2013, and then a tech component in 2015, and then a food component in 2016. And those have kind of all been disparate events within the structure of the festival. And now this year, they've really all come together as one. And so it's a new year for us. It's for the first time we feel like we're looking at it and being like, don't totally know how this is going to go, and that's okay. I love blueprinting because it gives me an opportunity to learn about the event and how it can change for the better and how I can take things away and add things. So yeah, this year the programming is Wednesday through Sunday. There's a bunch of different types of events each day, and this is the first year that we've had a true literature headliner in George Saunders, who will be appearing at Cranard Center's Colwell Playhouse on Thursday, September 21st. So that's a really exciting component for us, is that we're going to have a headline sellout author reading, which is really, really one of the first things that we planned on when we started the component. Outside of that, what I think that we're most excited about, in addition to everything else we're excited about, is at Cranard Center on Thursday, the 21st, in Urbana. You know, this is a laboratory space in a lot of ways, and the physical scope and size of it allows us to be very playful. So right here in this lobby will be a tech demo of 14 different companies, organizations, and laboratories on campus that will be showcasing an immense amount of innovation and technology, robotics, virtual reality, video games, wearable technology, all that's for the most part being developed here on the campus of University of Illinois and in the community of Champaign-Urbana. 2 headlining shows that night, Julian Baker early and then Thundercat later. Across the street, Cranard is presenting Wartico, Kane and Gray at Canopy Club, and then later that night at Canopy Club, we've got an amazing hip-hop artist from St. Louis called Smino, who is being supported by another local who's, I think, destined for some pretty great things. Their name is CJ Run. And so that day in particular, I'm very excited about as an Urbana native. It's always fun to kind of contribute in that way to the scope of the cultural construct.
Exciting with an exclamation point.
With an exclamation point.
So now so you mentioned that some of these things are happening in Urbana. I know it's like a Champaign-Urbana thing. So in addition to like the Canopy Club and Cranard Center, are there other things around Urbana that kind of Pygmalion is kind of focusing on or spotlighting kind of thing?
Yeah, so this neighborhood in particular has really grown, I think, in the last decade. With partnerships between JSM and the University of Illinois, they developed Gregory Place, which is across the street, and now it's filled with different restaurants and retail. I know that Cafe Benny and Basil Thai and Rosati's Pizza and Confusion and Marianne's Diner and Jay Gumbo's, and there's like a lot of different interesting restaurants to eat at, different retail to shop at, and so it's really interesting that they've been able to develop that kind of commercial enterprise in the east part of campus in Urbana here. And that really pairs nicely with what is still, in my opinion, one of the great parts of the entire community, and that's that Goodwin corridor with the Canopy Club, Timponi's, the Bread Company, Espresso, Manolo's, and what is now a convenience shop. I think it's called 710. It's just like a kind of a hidden pocket neighborhood in Champaign-Urbana, and Pygmalion gives us the opportunity to spotlight that and remind people that this is a totally formidable and viable place to come and eat, to come and hang out. There's a lot of amazing entertainment, obviously with Cranach Center being at the center of that. And so we always enjoy being able to do one particular day here, and one of the reasons why it's become viable for us as programmers and as planners is that there is enough around it to be able to entertain and sate all the attendees.
Okay, very nice.
And Seth, you mentioned the days it'll take place. Remind us when in September again the whole entire Pygmalion will take place.
It starts Wednesday, September 20th with Cha in downtown Champaign at 51 Main, and then continues on September 21st here in the Cranach Center District, and then 22nd and 23rd. Everything primarily ends up in downtown Champaign at the corner of Main and Market Street, although this year we've introduced a new component, a hackathon, which was a collaboration between Pixo, Volition, Wolfram, Research Park, and of course us at Pygmalion, and that will take place at Research Park's Enterprise Works, and that'll start on Saturday at noon and go 24 hours straight till Sunday at noon. So on Sunday, we'll have a couple of final events that will be the end of the hackathon. We're having a reading with Javika Steptoe, the Caldecott Award winner at Champaign Public Library, and then we'll present awards for the hackathon that evening at Beckman's Institute.
Fantastic. And ticket information, website, share that with us, please.
Everything can be purchased on the World Wide Web information superhighway at pygmalionfestival.com. There's a link to buy tickets. Everyone here should be fully capable of doing that type of thing. One of the things that I think, if I'm going to be on TV and talk about this type of engagement, is that there are a ton of free events. And we recognize as an organization that not everything that we program and that we book is for everyone. But one of our main directives is to make Pygmalion as accessible as we possibly can, while also continuing to maintain a very high standard of cultural engagement and programming. So every single day, no matter what it is that you're choosing to do, you can do it for free. And I think that that's important for people to know. The Made Fest is totally free. The tech demo is totally free. George Saunders reading with an RSVP is totally free. There's a stage on the street in downtown Champaign with bands front to back all evening, totally free. To go to the Food Festival, which features Black Dog, Pappardell's, Maze, Picara, others, all of that is totally free. And so the hope is that the community, after 13 years, who have probably, if they've been around, they've probably heard the word Pygmalion. They don't just associate it with a premium ticket price. Those shows are available to people, and for the fans of those artists, you buy a ticket and you get a great show. But for people who just want to check it out, who want to go shopping at the Made Fest, or pick up some food on the go from Big Grove or wherever, that's all free. And we just hope that people come out and kind of explore what we've been able to put together.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us a little bit about Pygmalion, and hopefully plenty of people go to the website, get some tickets, and hope to see you guys out there.
Sure. I'm really thankful for the opportunity to speak with you both, and if anyone out there has any advice on how to potty train my son, I'll take it.
Well, on that note, thanks so much for being on the program, Seth, and we will look forward to you coming back on and telling us more great things happening in our community.
Thanks so much,
Thanks.
Natalie. Yep.
We're here with Rachel Storm, new Public Arts Coordinator. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So this is your first time on It's All About You. Would you like to kind of give a little bit of an introduction about yourself?
Sure, so my name is Rachel Storm. I have been in the Champaign-Urbana community close to 12, maybe even 13 years. I came here as a student. I was going to go to school at the University of Illinois. I studied international studies at the time. I graduated. I started working actually at the university. I spent the past 8 years there. And I've also in the midst of pursuing three of my degrees from the University of Illinois, so my hopes is to finish my PhD this year there as well. But really created a home for myself in Urbana. I love Urbana.
Yeah.
And so perhaps that love for Urbana is what brought you to working with us here at the city.
Absolutely.
So we're so glad to have you. I know that the Public Arts Program has had lots of interactions with you over the years as an artist and just all around great person. But tell us a little bit about how your first month or so has gone as our new Public Arts Coordinator.
Well, it's kept me very busy. There's no lies there. I'm really excited about all the great work that comes out of the Public Arts Program, so to have the sort of gift of being able to give back to it is really exciting for me. Right now we've got calls open for Murals on Glass. We're accepting applications for our Art Expo, which will be in November this year on the 19th at the Civic Center all day. And then we're also going to be taking applications for Arts in the Schools, and that's a really exciting grant opportunity that maybe less people know about that the Public Arts Program has been offering, and that's really to encourage a lot of arts programming within the school system.
Fantastic.
And you said the opening for Murals on Glass. Can you explain a little bit more what that is?
Absolutely. So the city has had Murals on Glass as kind of in a 2-year rotation, so every other year we do that program. This year we are going to be soliciting murals for 2 different locations. One is actually going to be our very own Urbana City building, and the other is the Phillips Recreation Center. Okay. So these are murals that get kind of printed on adhesive vinyl, and then they actually get adhered to glass windows. You can see out of them from the inside of the building, but on the outside of this beautiful image of local art. Oh. And those usually are a guaranteed 2-year display. Now we found that they actually stay quite a long time without any deterioration, so they may be up even longer than that.
I was going to say, I think that the Abe Lincoln from Larry Steinberg has been on our parking deck for 3 or 4 years now, but it's almost become an iconic focal point of that downtown Urbana space. So kudos to whoever made that adhesive. It's working quite well.
Absolutely. We even check on them periodically to make sure they're not deteriorating and it's in great shape.
That's great. So you've definitely been really busy. I know that the Public Arts Commission and you as the Public Arts Coordinator do a lot of communication through social media and website. How can we find all this and get connected to all these exciting things coming up?
Absolutely. Now, the Urbana Public Arts Program is on Facebook as Urbana Public Arts Program. We have an Instagram and a Twitter under Urbana Public Arts. And obviously you can follow us online at urbanaillinois.us/arts and can find all of our different programs on there. So we really encourage people to get involved. One of the things that we're working on is really building our volunteer pool as well. So if people are interested in the arts and want to get involved, they should reach out to me as the Public Arts Coordinator, and I'd love to connect them with our different programs.
Awesome. Great way to give back to the community and take part in these great events.
Yeah, well, thank you for everything you've done. You've been doing a great job so far. We look forward to working with you some more, and hopefully we can have you on a little bit later and find out how some of these programs went.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we're back with It's All About You. We are on campus at the Urbana Fire Department, and we're joined today by Jeremy Leevey, the Fire Prevention Officer with the City of Urbana. Thanks for being on the program.
Thanks for having me.
So we're on campus for a specific reason. A, it's fun to come visit you guys over here, but B, there's a lot happening on campus this month, and the Fire Department takes a large amount of time welcoming students and helping them acclimate to their on-campus residence. Tell us a little bit about your activities.
Sure. So at the move-in time for school, we have a big move-in night celebration here for the kids to get some fire safety information out to them as they move in, especially the incoming freshmen. We usually do that on the freshman move-in day. But September is actually Fire Safety Month campus-wide throughout the United States.
And so what type of activities or outreach do you do during that month to help include the students? How do you reach out to them? Do they listen?
Well, reaching the college students is probably much harder to do than you would doing public education to children, school-age children. It's definitely a lot easier to get to school-age children because they're stuck there at school.
Yeah.
The young adults have their own agendas and their own schedules, and it's a little hard to get in front of them to do that, but we do some training with the private certified housing facilities here on campus, and that's most of your Greek facilities, which the University of Illinois has a large contingent of Greek facilities. And some of the other private certified facilities throughout Urbana, one of the bigger ones is the Hendrick House over here. And other places like the Europa House and a few others that we have here in Urbana besides the Greek facilities. And we try and get in there and do half hour, 45 minutes of a fire safety presentation to them. We give them the opportunity to talk about their building in particular, and some of the fire safety features of their building and some of the things they need to know for their building so they can get out in case of a fire.
Right.
So I'm sure there's different tips and tricks in order of setting up a room for fire prevention, maybe, different ways of easier exit. Do you give students do you go over different ways of properly setting things up or things like that?
That is a great question. So obviously a dorm room is only so big.
Right.
So
Yeah.
and especially with 2 people in it, there's only a few ways you can really set that up to make it functional for both people in the room. So we don't really design the ways that people can set up their rooms. I've seen some pretty good ones, and I've seen some that are not so good as well. But we try and talk more about the fire safety aspects, that the things they're not supposed to have in their rooms, hot plates and candles, and definitely no smoking in their rooms and things like that. But also we talk about some electrical safety. Most of the rooms, they want to have everything plugged in. I mean, today we have computers and laptops and iPads and everything else, so they got to have everything plugged in and charged, and they have to have their cell phones right next to where they sleep, because you never know when you're going to get that Snapchat at 3 in the morning. So,
True story.
for the college kids, but we talk more about that. So not using the cheap extension cords or the big orange extension cord you brought from Dad's garage. You want to get something that's plugged into the wall and it's surge protected, a power strip, things like that are surge protected. To have things plugged in. And the great thing about surge protectors anymore is you can get those in whatever length you want, so up to 50 feet. So you could go around the dorm room 3 times with one if you wanted to, if you get one long. So they can plug it in wherever and run it to wherever they want in the room, and they shouldn't have to use extension cords in the room. So that's what we really try and stress to them when we get the opportunity.
And moving on from campus to the following month, to October, there's an even broader effort for fire prevention and fire safety. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, well, that's National Fire Safety Month throughout the country. And Fire Prevention Week always falls the week of October 9th, and October 9th is a significant day because that's the date of the Great Chicago Fire from 1871, Mrs. O'Leary's famous cow.
Yeah.
And we always have fire prevention. So whatever week the 9th falls in, that's going to be the week of Fire Prevention Week every year. And we always have a huge Fire Prevention Week at the Lincoln Square Mall, where we have a lot of the children from the area schools and the daycares and everything around the surrounding area that will come in. And we have a bunch of fire safety stations set up for the kids to go through to learn about fire safety. Crawling low and under the smoke, what a smoke detector sounds like, having an exit plan in your home, practicing an exit drill, having a fire drill in your home with your family, and all those things that we go through with the kids during that month. So.
And Fireman Phil's famous puppet show.
And the famous puppet show from Fireman Phil, yes. I don't know, this might be his last year for it. He keeps saying that, but we'll see.
So, he'll be dancing on forever.
Is there anywhere people can go to find out more information about all of this? You guys have a website or something like that?
Absolutely. The fire department has a webpage that's part of the City of Urbana webpage, so you can see the information here on the screen and look that up. The fire department itself also has a Facebook page and a Twitter feed. I myself, as the campus fire prevention officer, I have one too, so I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook as well for the college kids. Try and keep up. I'm not on the Snapchat yet. I don't think I ever will. But
all right, perfect.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your service and for reaching out to the campus community and beyond and helping us all stay safe and healthy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Any questions, definitely look at our website and be safe out there.
Thank you.
Thanks. Welcome back to It's All About You. We are here at the Urbana Public Works Department, joined by Courtney, the U-Cycle coordinator, and we're so happy to have you on the program.
Thank you.
I know we've interviewed you before. It's probably been a couple of years now. Tell us a little bit about the U-Cycle program, just as a refresher before we get into the upcoming event.
Okay, the U-Cycle program picks up and collects recycling from all Urbana residents, from single-family homes to multifamily apartment complexes.
And in addition to doing that, you also do a lot of collaborative programs and projects, and you have one coming up soon.
Yes, we work a lot with the City of Champaign and Champaign County, Village of Savoy on different projects, and we're having another event coming up for electronics recycling.
So what exactly is electronics recycling?
In the state of Illinois, there is a landfill ban on about 19 electronic devices, and so as a county and as a city, we want to ensure that all of our residents have options to recycle those materials. So we have about 2 events per year. So our next event is coming up in October, and so we're trying to get the word out. We are requiring registration this year, which starts on Tuesday, September 5th at 8:00 a.m.
Okay. Now, I know, like, for electronics, a lot of places don't take, like, things like TVs and stuff like that. Is that all okay here?
Yes, so at this event we'll take all types of TVs and other electronic devices like computers, cell phones, radios, video equipment, gaming systems, things like that.
Okay.
So the registration process, I hear that it fills up rather quickly. So what's some advice that you can give to residents in the cities that are participating in this program?
So registration does open or fill up very quickly. So I would say be ready to register as quick as you can on September 5th. And registration will open online at 8:00 a.m. You can go to the City of Urbana's website, which is urbanaillinois.us, and on the main page you'll see a link for electronics recycling registration.
And what if by chance there's someone that doesn't make it in to get a spot for the event? Are there plans for another one in the future, or what do they do if they have items that they looking to get rid of?
We have some options. If there are items other than the old CRT TVs, which are the leaded TVs, there are options locally to recycle other materials like printers, even flat screen TVs, computer monitors. There are other options locally, and that can be found on the City of Urbana's website as well. And if the registration is filled and you can't get in, feel free to give us a call. The U-Cycle program a call, and sometimes we have people that are unable to make it, and it's a little last minute notice, but we'll keep a list and contact you and let you know if you can get into this event.
Great.
And then just as a refresher right before we're done, can you just one more time give the date of the registration opens and then when the actual event is taking place?
Sure. So the date registration opens is this coming Tuesday, September 5th at 8:00 a.m. and the event takes place at Parkland College on Saturday, October 14th, starting at 8 a.m. Between 8 a.m. and noon.
Okay, perfect.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being on the program, and keep us posted, as I know you have some other events coming up later this fall that we'd love to hear about.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Courtney. For more information on the City of Urbana, you can visit their website at urbanaillinois.us. We appreciate you tuning in today and hope you'll join us again soon. And remember, it's all about you.